Welcome back to my blind playthrough of Elden Ring as I continue to incompetently traverse the lands between. Last episode, I roamed Limgrave trying to figure out how to strengthen my weapons in order to beat Margit, without quite realizing that I'd missed this weapon upgrade table in the Church of Ela. I also discovered the Church of Dragon Communion, which gave me a clear objective: eat a dragon heart. But unfortunately, I haven't found a dragon yet. Well, part 5 starts with me exploring the Lake Agheel area. And the first thing I do is find a dragon. Total Kool-Aid Man entrance by the Flying Dragon Agheel. And before I can even process how delicious a dragon heart made out of cherry Kool-Aid would taste, he launches a fire breath attack at me and kills me with one hit. After respawning, I can see the dragon from up on the hills. I equip the Flame Drake Talisman to beef up my fire resistance, but then he shows why his name contains the word flying, and he roasts me alive again. The extra fire resistance just probably meant that he had to turn the temperature up a bit. Now, you would assume, based on how determined I was to obtain a dragon heart, that I would not just give up after 2 attempts, and you would be right. On my 3rd attempt, I managed to mitigate some of that fire damage through the ancient art of stop, drop, and roll. And then when he pulls out that fire blast on me, I avoid it by hiding behind this rock. I'm doing so good! But these fancy maneuvers felt like crapshoots. Agheel's impressed now, but he's not going to tolerate missteps. So I peace out of this dragon fight early. Apparently, I want Agheel's respect a bit more than I want his heart. Man, the Church of Dragon Communion would be so disappointed in this. So I decided to continue exploring the road going south next to Lake Agheel. I'll leave the lake-dwelling denizens for a bit later. I take out these soldiers, peasants, and barbarians that I encountered last time and reach the caravan that's being led by these giants. I sneak my way by. There are a ton of guys walking behind the caravan, but they don't notice me. I eventually come upon these weaklings who are digging next to this wall. I take them out and this on-foot barbarian. My journey south continues with more of these weak guys. One of them shoots some magic at me, the other one blows a horn. Neither of these things accomplish anything, and I kill them fairly easily. I rinse and repeat with this similar trio. Maybe if that horn actually summoned someone, it would be somewhat useful, but apparently Gondor has refused the call for aid. Further up the hill, there is a fort, but it looks like the perfect ambush spot. So instead, I head back down to the road. There's no need for me to walk right into a surprise attack. Right now, I'm just building my confidence by just beating up on these peasants and slaves and diggers. They are super easy. And look, there are more of them working the cliffside that fort sits atop. There's this sort of tablet/gravestone type of thing here. I start heading up this rocky path on the left, and I attack this guy, expecting another easy kill. Instead, this happens. I don't even know what this thing is. It clearly looks like a bear, but its proportions are all wrong. And it's definitely the most ferocious enemy I've fought so far. I mean, he just destroyed me. So when I respawn and head on back south, I have no intention of fighting this guy again. He doesn't scare me the way the land octopus does, but my god, I feel like I have no chance against him right now. Luckily, across the road from where I encounter that horrific bear nightmare, I find this site of grace where I rest. I then check out my map, and it reveals to me that this is called Lake Agheel South. And then it clicks for me, that dragon's name was Agheel. So is the lake named after the dragon, or is the dragon named after the lake? Also, why would the lake be named after the dragon when there's an even worse creature that roams the banks of the lake? Regardless of what naming convention they used, I continue on south towards this valley. There are these interesting footholds or handholds that are adorning the canyon walls, and there's a spirit jump here for Dural Torrent. However, this feels like it potentially could be going towards a new area. So I decide it's time to probably explore the lake a little bit more. Let's get some answers about its name. Is it named after the dragon? Or maybe that bear's name is also Agheel. Maybe Agheel is like John or Nick. As I approach the lake, I notice this giant crab-like creature. I don't know why I said crab-like creature. It's a giant crab. I don't know his name, but That's an Agheel if I've ever seen one. I choose to ignore him since I've been obliterated by everyone named Agheel so far. Instead, I write up this set of ruins that's been split in two. There's an item across the gap, and I can see more ruins in the lake from my vantage point. I also see another barbarian rider along the beach. I suspect his name may also be Agheel, and of the 4 Agheels I may or may not have met so far, he's the only one that I am confident against, so I go and kill him. I also killed this mosquito, but I'm not naive enough to think his name is Agheel also. I then head under the ruins where this NPC is sitting by a fire. He admonishes me for attacking that dragon, but he also implies that he won't talk to me again until I kill that dragon, so I don't know what he wants from me. I then do that thing I do where every hour or so I go and fight Margit with no real chance of beating him. It's sad that this is my best performance against him by far. I get him all the way to half health, but by the time I get him there, I have no healing flasks left. And I still don't remember how to upgrade my weapons. It's right there! I spend the next several minutes prepping to explore those crumbled ruins in the lake. This includes grabbing this item on top of the structure with Torrent, exploring along the cliff edge overlooking this beach, being ambushed by a ton of bats, some of whom may or may not be named Agheel, and checking out these waterfalls coming out from the base of the tutorial crypt. This is all cool stuff that maybe at some point I'll be able to find a way to access, but for now, I wade into the lake that was named after that dragon/bear/crab/barbarian. The dragon-burnt ruins are filled with twists and turns, these torch-bearing hollows, these adorable puppies, and these rats. These ruins are pretty confusing, which is odd considering that most of the ruins are essentially waist-high. And this chanting just confuses me more. Considering that we've established that everyone here is named Agheel, this chant is perplexing. Who the hell are they talking about? Or maybe they're just big sports fans and they're rooting for the Lake Agheel Dragons and they're just chanting and supporting their team. Which makes my mass slaughter of them completely irredeemable, especially since the star quarterback is witnessing everything. Having cut my way through these fanatics, I find this item within a tower. But unfortunately for me, I make the mistake of letting one guy live. I get surprised by him and his dogs. They absolutely slaughter me, probably because not only am I not a fan of the Agheel football team, but I don't actually like football. Whatever. It's second down now, so I respawn and fight my way back to the tower where the item turns out to be a stone sword key. This is awesome. This should get me through that imp statue in the tutorial building. Maybe that'll take me to that beach under the waterfall I spotted earlier. But I'll explore that later. For now, I head down those stairs on the other side of the tower. So honestly, at this point in the game, I was a little bit frustrated that each of these little dungeons kept ending in a boss. I thought that was a tiny bit predictable. So I was very happy when I just went down these stairs and all I got were several video game rats and a treasure chest with a trap in it. I activated not once but twice just to test out whether dodge rolling will help me if I ever get put in the gas chamber. And then I head on back up. I do one last search of the perimeter of these ruins and I find this spot in the wall where it looks like I can jump through. I can't reach it by myself, but Torrent sure as hell can. And there's another staircase leading down. This is super cool. Like, I love that there's a hidden second cellar in these ruins that a lot of people probably didn't find. There are no enemies. There is a treasure chest. It's got a twin blade in it, which is a cool weapon, but I'm not going to be using it. Still, this was just cool. I just like the unpredictability of these ruins. Like, finding nothing here was way more memorable for me than fighting this Beastman of Farum Azula boss in the Groveside Cave. Plus, I didn't find nothing. Clearing these ruins yielded me a stone sword key. So I'm pretty satisfied when I leave these ruins. I go to celebrate with Agheel the crab. He's cleaning himself in the lake with his pincers. Classic Agheel. I snipe at him a bit with a fire arrow, and then he comes at me. And boy, does his goofy run remind me of another beloved crustacean. So now I'm confused. Is his name Agheel or is it Zoidberg? Maybe I've been wrong about these names all along. But I'm far too invested in this joke by now. I've put so much effort into it. So I kill Agheel, Then his sons Agheel Jr. and Agheel III attack me. They put on a good show and seem like they're more challenging. I mean, look at how coordinated they are. At one point, one of them nearly cuts me in half, but after his brother's death, he's too shell-shocked to finish the job. I mean, I know that death is hard to deal with, but there's something off about this almost catatonic reaction he's having. Oh my god, he killed his own brother! This is horrible! No wonder he was just staring at me with those vacant eyes and just gave up and let me kill him. Good god, this is depressing. I might have to retire this whole Agheel joke. I mean, this has just been too much. I mean, this is on the level of a Shakespearean tragedy. But first I go and kill all of these adorable little baby Agheels. I do this just so that they don't have to live with the atrocities that they witnessed. And then I continue to explore more of the area south of the lake. I come up on these ruins where a huge horde of demi-humans are fighting a bunch of Godric soldiers. I jump in there and kill both groups. I don't find any clues as to what they were fighting over, but I'm guessing it has to do with ruin fragments, which is what Godric soldiers have had all of those digging slaves searching for. I continue on south here to explore more and find some answers. All I find are demi-humans all over the place. Some of them jump up out of the ground unexpectedly. These guys are guarding a body with an item. That item turns out to be a ruin fragment, which means, was I right? That might be the first bit of lore in a FromSoft game that I've ever predicted. There isn't much more for me to see here, so I head back to that site of grace across from that bear monstrosity. I think to myself, maybe I could snipe that guy who transforms into that bear and get in some good hits before he gets to me. Well, I managed to stay alive for like a minute and a half, but damage-wise, I accomplished next to nothing. This guy is the most frantic fight I've had in this game. I barely have a chance to breathe, and fighting him is just basically inviting an anxiety attack. So I'm going to stop tempting fate by attacking this guy unless it's completely necessary. For now, I head south from the site of grace, and I stumble on those automaton rock snake dealies. They are guarding another one of those strange boss arenas. This one's called the Forlorn Hound Everjail. However, I just hightail it away from there. I think that stupid bear has gotten in my head. I just don't have the mental stamina to deal with a fight against a new enemy. Also, would a Nightmarish bear just be called a night bear? Is that a good pun? While I ponder this, I head to the edge of this chasm. There's a bridge spanning the chasm. There are bodies hanging off of the bridge. And it looks like there's an old fort tucked away in these woods. However, I want to fully explore this area around Lake Agheel first. I don't want to cross any bridges until I really need to. So I head down with Torrent using those footholds or whatever that I found earlier into this sort of valley. And then I use the spirit jump that I found earlier to hop on to the back of that camp that I spotted so many hours ago. I take care of some of the soldiers who are waiting behind the fort, and then Torrent and I jump onto the set of ruins and take out this sorcerer before grabbing a royal house scroll. I then head back down towards this astrolabe thing that I've been finding everywhere and pick up some starlight shards before gazing at the horizon. I spot a fortress near a small Erd tree. This is like the third different vista that I've seen in the last 20 minutes that leaves the Lake Agheel area. I mark it on my map, and I decide, man, I've been in the Agheel area far too long. I need to move out. I need to get out of here. This place is infecting my mind. I'm making bad jokes about people named Agheel. I had a night bearish pun earlier. I need to get the hell out of here. I just got to deal with this fort. Or actually, maybe it's the fort that deals with me, because after I plow my way through another mage and some easy soldiers, this barbarian murders me. See, this is kind of why I want to get out of here. I'm doing the same song and dance over and over. I mean, outside of Margit and the demi-human chiefs, I'm pretty sure that these barbarians are responsible for most of my deaths. So when I respawn, I rush through this fort. I take no prisoners. I'm not dilly-dallying. I just want to get out of here. Well, maybe I'm dilly-dallying a little bit. Okay, I dilly-daddled a lot, but this was justified. I mean, this guy killed me last time, so I wanted to be sure. Wait, what the hell am I doing here? Whatever. Despite the fact that I lied about rushing through this fort, I found a couple of weapons. I found this war pick on one of the soldiers, and I found this great epee, whatever it's called. And clearly I'm not in a rush at all because I choose to fight Margit at this point with one of my new weapons. Oh wait, are you kidding? I'm just fighting him with my flail again? This goes very badly. So badly that I think that, well, it can't get worse than this, so I try again. Well, it can go worse because last time at least I died after like 15 seconds. This one is like 5 minutes long, and I still barely have any time to learn his second phase. More evidence that I need to come back later. Oh wait, now I try the war pick. Let's see how well this goes.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
You know what? Screw you, Margit. That's a personal attack. That's why I haven't left Lake Agheel yet. You insult my ambition so much that when I do become determined to move on, I freeze up. That's why instead of leaving Lake Agheel immediately, I procrastinate a bit by heading to the Waypoint Ruins where that sorcerer Selen is just chillin'. That royal house scroll that I found earlier was filled with sorceries taught by the Carrion royal family, who are the heads of the Academy of Rael Icaria. So who better to take this to than someone who is considered an apostate witch by said academy, probably because they crap all over her ambition too. She offers to teach me some of the sorceries, but maybe Margit is right. Maybe I am too ambitious. Like, learning sorceries with 0 intelligence is the definition of overambitious. I need to leave this place behind. I need to get away from Lake Agheel. I need to find myself somewhere else, see new creatures, meet new people. I just need some new experiences. So I leave the Waypoint Ruins and head east away from the lake. As I head off, I meet this fellow on the road. Disappointingly, this is another barbarian. So definitely not a new type of enemy, seeing as this was the guy who's killed me more than any other enemy. I ask for some much needed space, but like many ex-lovers, I find myself drawn back to his clothing as a reminder of the past I've left behind. But one thing I haven't left behind are demi-human ambushes. Damn it, I want new creatures and people! These are the guys that I've killed more than anything else! At this point, I'm starting to lose hope about seeing anything new in this direction. But is that a new creature? Why, yes, I believe so. But only if you consider very big green dragonfly to be different from gray, sort of big dragonfly. So this is only a new creature if you're really loosey-goosey with your definitions. Wait, what's this? A new NPC calling for help? Hooray!
Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenny.
I'm coming, man, I'm coming!
Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenny.
Okay, you can cool it with repeating yourself, alright? I hear you. I am on my way. I just gotta deal with these demi-humans.
Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenny.
Oh my god, will you shut the hell up?
Oh, Tree, grant me succor.
Well, he found his sucker. Who else would be so starved of new experiences to talk to this blowhard? Turns out he's some high and mighty should-be ruler who wants me to clear out his home base. That at least is novel. He also has some choice words about Godric.
Honestly, Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Has he no shame? The big girl's blouse.
But should I trust him? It seems Godric took power in Limgrave, power that this imbecile thinks is his, so of course he's biased. Yeah, sure, he grafts Tarnished, but does he grate on my nerves like this tool? But tool or not, there is a lot of delicious lore here. Tarnished hunts are what Roderica most likely lost her group to. Godric is obviously part of the Golden lineage descending from Godfrey, and we know Godwyn was murdered in the Night of the Black Knives. But despite Godric's family, he's kind of seen as a coward, fleeing to Stormvale from the capital, hiding from General Radahn, who I've only seen mentioned in some of the Armorer's cookbooks, and losing to Malenia and then sucking up to her. So Kenneth Haight might suck, but it does feel like leaving Lake Agheel was the right thing for me. I'm going to go back with essentially a full college education here. But I still want to find new people, new creatures, and something preferably less spastic than Kenneth freaking Haight. Well, down the road, in front of the destroyed husk of an old building, is a creature who is less spastic than Kenneth Haight. But it's also just a bog standard giant. You know, the very first enemy that I killed post-tutorial. So again, nothing new. I head off to the side a bit and look down this gulch and... No! I wanted a different enemy! Not the freaking bear nightmare! I wanted something less spastic than old Kenneth, not Spazzy McGee! So I'm depressed. I ignore the bear demon and go and kill the giant, because no matter what I do, no matter where I go, nothing changes in my life. I'm a bit mopey as I walk into those ruins, but things take a turn when the title card pops up revealing that this is the Third Church of Marika. Without even trying to, I've accidentally stumbled upon a location that I've been meaning to go to. That note told me that the Flask of Wondrous Physic can be found here, and sure enough it can be. This thing lets me concoct my own custom potions, which promptly causes me to forget my goal of reaching that one tower, and Kenneth's quest to clear out his home, which, unbeknownst to me, are the same exact places. Instead, I'm going to head back to the tutorial chapel, where I can use those 2 stone sword keys. But rather than fast travel, I decide to ride Torrent back there. It's nighttime, I never travel at night, so I kind of want to soak up that atmosphere. So I set off and just embrace the beauty of the world. As I ride, I pass by scarabs, by soldiers, by slaves, by barbarians, all enemies that I've fought before, but I'm no longer upset. I don't need anything new, I've got this world. I approach this bridge that I've crossed like 10 times before, and what the hell is that? Who is this guy? I've never seen him. You don't belong here. Get away from me. Apparently at nighttime, a boss called the Night Cavalry spawns here. I managed to escape because he despawns if you get far enough away from that bridge, but I have no intention of fighting him again at this point because he scared me so badly. Like, the land octopus and the bear demon freak me out because of how frenetic they are. But this was like an existential dread. Like that inky black shadow materializing where I didn't expect him to. That reminds me of this terrifying scene from Halloween. Yeah, so much for meeting new people. I managed to make it all the way back to the tutorial chapel without an incident. And then I head down to the imp statues, which I use the stone sword keys on them to dissipate this fog. This is exciting because it seems like it might be the first major dungeon that I'm tackling in the game. But you should know from watching these videos by now that I tend to get scared easily and run away, which is what I do here. I just wasn't feeling diving into some poison down there and dealing with whatever is rumbling around that corner. So I leave the Fringe Folk hero's grave, which is a brutal tongue twister. I head back up to the site of grace. So encountering the Night Cavalry was terrifying, but it did accomplish one major thing. It reminded me about the Tree Sentinel. I fought this guy about an hour into the game, and it was so bad that I apparently repressed my memories because I completely forgot about him. And let me tell you, what a difference this boss fight is when on foot compared to when on horse. I ride in on Torrent and get in a couple of swipes while he is missing me left and right. Like, some of his attacks are ridiculously off. He keeps trying to spear me when his horse rears back. That's no use as well. It finally looks like he's gonna draw blood, but then my next attack staggers him, and then I get in a cheap butt shot. He's already down to half health when he unleashes this powerful jump attack. And by powerful, I mean he kicks up a nasty dust cloud. But finally, on this pass, he smashes me and knocks me off Torrent. So, difficulty-wise, he's been easy so long as I stay on Torrent. But now I'm vulnerable. What do I do? Oh god, he's coming. Oh wait, I just get back on Torrent. Eventually, I drink my Flask of Wondrous Physic to put an end to his misery. I mean, come on, who are you swinging that shield at? Finally, I end this charade by bleeding him out with my flail, and I'm rewarded with a golden halberd. The item description says that this guy is part of an order of Tree Sentinels, which makes sense, because they're all just swinging wildly and randomly. You need a big group of them to actually connect with anything. And while he was a bit too easy, he has satisfied my thirst to meet new people outside of the Lake Agheel area. Though, technically, I already met this guy, but I don't know. I'm going to consider this kind of like when you know someone from high school, but you don't actually hang out with them until you go to college, and then you both go to the same college, and suddenly you're like, hey, look, we went to the same high school. We're suddenly such great friends. Let's hang out everywhere because we don't know how to talk to other people. And then when you do meet someone new, it's someone super intimidating, like a really hot girl or the Night Cavalry, and then you just run away and you look stupid in front of them, and then you're like, oh my god, what do they think of me? I just made such a bad first impression. Man, life is tough. And things are about to get much tougher, but if you want to see that, you're going to have to check out part 6 of my Inept walkthrough of Elden Ring.